ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskars to you all. I hope you are all keeping well and healthy. We are all waiting for the BMC's declaration for lifting up of curbs they have imposed to restrain the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. So far what I have heard that Shri Iqbal Singh Chahal, Municipal Commissioner of BMC, he said that at the end of this month, means starting from 1st March, all curbs will be removed, because figures, stats of the everyday COVID infections that are in check, they are under 500. So we look forward to that announcement, and if that happens, the Thakur Tithi Puja or even Mahashivratri, which falls on 1st of March, hopefully devotees will be able to participate. So we are looking forward toward that announcement, and naturally it's a matter of joy and happiness for everyone. So that all normalcy resumes in every aspect of life, and devotees as usual, they will be able to come to temple unhindered, unrestricted, and participate at all the functions which are observed in the temple Ramakrishna Mutt. So in the last time that class could not be held, you can see one light behind me here, this side. This looks more brighter. This was morning it was working, and evening it simply shut down. So total face of Swami Vivekananda Swamiji behind, it was looking very darkened. So I did not like that to come sit before here in that way. So I got it replaced in time, and that there was one beautiful lecture held by Swami Ganeshanandaji on Srimad Bhagavad. Hope you might have heard it. If it is not, it is there on our YouTube channel. You please listen to that talk. He is a very wonderful speaker, very well known on Bhagavata, and subsequently, after that, last Friday, Swami Satyadevanandaji also resumed his classes. There was some confusion about time, anyhow, so his classes will be held regularly. So it will happen at 5:30 on Friday. And here we are in the midst of this deliberation on Dhyana Yoga, the way of meditation, the path of meditation. And see, if you see the flow of ideas as they are put across. So, sometime if you do not know somebody's language properly, but somewhat, and if you follow the course of conversation, you pretty much suppose one word that you may not know meaning of it, you can guess it. So you might be able to assume it, because you know the subject, you know the human nature. If these two things are there, then only word you might not have heard before are going to be replaced, and you can follow the flow, the current of the thought, the current of the ideas. That's why I very much in my mind, I consider it as important when following Bhagavad Gita to follow the flow, the current, and asking this question that why might have Bhagavan said a particular thing when suppose so to say, it appears to us that he is changing in a subject, there is a substream coming up. Why it is so? Why it might crop up such thought in his mind? If you see that, then it will be very easy to trace and see in the hindsight and connect these two streams, which you see something, a new subject is starting. Why it might start? What might have prompted Bhagavan to say such thing? So, to follow the flow of the thought, here in the 23rd verse, Bhagavan says that he defines yoga. Tam vidyat dukkha sayoga viyogam yoga samnitam. That is yoga. That is what will cause this dukkha sayoga viyogam. Know that what is known by the term yoga, yoga samnitam, known by the term of yoga. What is that? That is dukkha sayoga viyogam. It is not that you have dukkha and it will be removed. That dukkha sayoga itself will not happen. In the first place itself, you will not become dukkhi. And he proclaims there that with determination, sa nishchayena yoktavyo. Yoktavyo. This word is important. I have explained that while deliberating on this verse. Why yoktavyo? This term is very important, because this term denotes the deliberate effort a sadhaka, a yogi, a spiritual aspirant, which he must put into it. Yoktavyo. You must employ your mind, engage your mind in this way. You must work your mind in this way. This is the idea. So, yoktavyo, this term is important. Yogo nirvinna chetasa. Anirvinna chetasa. The mind which is anirvinna, which is not gloomy, despondent, broken, shattered. Not with that. With the vitality gathered together. That aspiration, that hope that longing for that spirit, longing for consciousness, longing to transcend this materialism, jadatva, longing to transcend this tamas, this must be there, longing to be seated in sattva, longing to become free from the rajas, that mind, that vitality, that life is there, anirvinna, that is not vidirna, that is not dissipated, demaciated and wilted. That is not that wilted mind. You know, when grass wilts, withers out. That is not that mind. A gloomy, despondent mind. Anirvinna, not that kind of mind. So this, with full of life and with such determination, that yoga must be practiced. He says that in 23rd verse, from 24th to 26th verse, he describes the very core of the practice of yoga. That desires must be conquered, indriyas must be, disciplined with the help of the mind, and gradually, with the help of your buddhi and dhruti, you establish your mind in your Atman and do not think anymore. And whenever your mind tries to outstep of these bounds, when you have established in your heart, in your Atman, the consciousness oriented towards the pursuit of consciousness, then whenever that happens, whenever that mind outsteps, then you bring it in control. Vasham nayat. Take it into control. Vasham nayat. Atma and Atmani eva. Take it into the Atman. That is the word. So, and up to 26th verse he said that. In the 27th and 28th verse, which we saw in the last class, we see that what becomes of the yogi, what it attains, what is going to experience, what kind of stage he achieves. That is explained in verse number 27 and 28. Prashanta manasam henam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shanta rajasam brahma bhutam akalmasham yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi vigada kalmashah sukhena brahma sansparsham atyantam sukham ashnute. So he says that in the 27th and 28th verse. So that kind of state, that is the result of the yoga he describes. That his mind becomes extraordinarily quiet, calm, prashanta manasam, he enam, and he attains the very higher, ethereal happiness, sukham. And his rajasa becomes shanta rajasam, upaiti. He attains to that stage, he reaches that state, and he becomes Brahma Bhutam, that one with the consciousness. That his ego now has got the shape of, has become the identical with the consciousness. He does not anymore identify himself to this limited concept of body and mind. That he lives as if he has become infinite, Brahma Bhutam, and that is the definition here of akalmasham. That all sins, all wrongdoings, all misgivings, everything is washed away. He has become purified. Why? How? Through this knowledge. Through this knowledge. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate. So this is there is nothing purer than the knowledge. Nahi jnanena. What knowledge? This is the knowledge. That when he transcends this identity of limitedness and become established in this identity of infinite Brahma Bhutam, that this is what that yogi attains, and this is how that purity is attained. This is the name of purity, that he becomes identified with the infinite Brahma Bhutam Akalmasham. He becomes identified with the consciousness. And thus Yunjan, by doing this, continuously doing this, evam, in this way, sada, always, atmanam. So to self, this yogi, he goes past of doing anything wrong, vigata kalmasha. That there is no more this idea of now wrong or right or virtue or sin. He transcends that idea. Papa and punya. He transcends these dualities. That person get established in this. So that's why he's transcend this duality. And that's how he is called as Vigata Kalmasha. That now it is beyond his reach to do anything wrong. So, how wonderful this idea is. It is not that he does not do any wrong. He does not have any more concept of wrong. That is enthralling. The idea of purity, the perfection. A human can reach. Swami Ranganathananji, that's why he used to call Vedanta of science of human possibilities. So, where it can take what it can make possible for a human being. It is not that he is so perfect that he never does anything wrong. Doing wrong is beyond his scope now. And this person, how Yunjan evam, Yunjan, in this way, employing his mind, engaging in his mind evam, in this way, sada atmanam, engaging himself, his own atmanam, his own mind, own heart, himself, engaging himself in this way, that yogi become vigata kalmashaha, and sukhena, very comfortably, he Brahma Sansparsham. Infinite is something, this idea is poetic, it is not to be taken literally. Even it can be taken literally. So, something means if somebody says that I have touched the space, what do you make of it? Space is not a material, isn't it, which I can touch, if it permits me or not, regardless of that. So, what does it mean, I have space, I have touched the space? You can only mean that maybe he's trying to attempt to enter the space, maybe a rocket program, and he might have touched it, but could not enter. Could not enter. It might be the case. Or in this way, or depending upon in the context, he makes that statement. So he uses the word Brahma Sansparsham. That now, even in the context of Vedanta, in Vedantic terminology, even space would be called as matter. Even thought is called as matter, so no question about space. But here, Brahman is not called as matter. Brahman is consciousness. And with what you touch is the function of your senses. Touch is the function of your particular sense organ, which we call as skin. With skin, you have the sensation, the knowledge in the form of this touch sensation. Now, what is the meaning of Brahma Sansparsham? So, it means that this person, he always lives in that level of consciousness, in that level of that just holding his mind, his self, to to let it merge into that infinite. So this is the state which is described in the life of Sri Ramakrishna in the Bhavamukha Avastha. That his mind was so refined, it is to rush, to merge into the infinite. He has to hold back. Once upon a time he says that he comes down from Samadhi, and he says these words, that even to say Om, he says, I have to as if come down 100 feet. Do make whatever you want to make of it. But Sri Ramakrishna says that. Even to say utter Om, he says, I have to as if come down 100 feet. He uses the word hand. Hand means particularly 1.5 feet. This is hand, they measure 1.5 feet. So this he uses the word hand. The 100 हाथ आमाके नीचे आस्ते है. So Sri Ramakrishna says that. So you can imagine how this state are. That's why idea of Brahman, and all the time Upanishads, they say, Vedanta say that this is avang manasa gocharam. That vang, that is vani, that is your speech, and your mind, manasa, gocharam, agocharam. You cannot comprehend the idea of Brahman. You cannot comprehend Brahman through your words and your mind. You cannot contemplate it. Because this is a subset, that is a superset. You cannot bring that superset into it. You cannot. It though exists in it, it cannot be fitted into it. You cannot comprehend Brahman through mind. So, Brahma Sansparsham, this state denotes that person, all that. Turiyanandaji Maharaj said about Swami Vivekananda, that person, he always lived somewhere in the state between Savikalpa Samadhi and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. All the time he functioned, all through his hard work, labor, talks and speeches, and doing every other thing, being in that state. These words, it is very difficult to make anything of it, because we stand nowhere to judge or even understand. But whatever we read from the scriptures, we understand that these are the highest stages, and Brahma Sansparsham. This is the meaning, that person lives very near to that absolute Brahma Sansparsham. Sukhena, he lives comfortably. And Atyantam, that Atyantam, Atyantam, this word we use many languages in our colloquial languages. So, what does it mean? Atyantam means Ati Antam, which has transcended the end. Ati Antam. That is the literal meaning. If we do Sandhi Vichhed, that Ati stands for transcendence. Ati. So Ati Antam. So which has transcended the end. That is as if infinite. Atyantam Sukham Ashnute. Ashnute literally means eating. So he is consuming, that sukha is so tangible and so palpable for that person. He is that extreme happiness he is consuming. He is enjoying that happiness. Sukhena Brahma Sansparsham Atyantam Sukham Ashnute. So this is, for any human being. Now I will say, many times this idea of Swarga or ultimate goal or this thing we might think of. This is the idea of Swarga of Gita. That Sukhena Brahma Sansparsham Sukham Atyantam Sukham Ashnute. This is the idea of Swarga in my mind. What could be the highest any man could attain in his life? The greatest pleasure, acutest, even your senses are individually capable of. Incapable of, not capable of. Because this is not going to be consumed by your senses. This is not going to be experienced by your mind. This is transcending it. You actually, at the cost of this, you attain that. What could be the highest you can attain? Sukhena Brahma Sansparsham Atyantam Sukham Ashnute. These words are like that. We are very inferior people. It does not evoke anything in our mind. One experience you might have read in the life of Latu Maharaj. I will tell you that. Latu Maharaj, for those who do not know or might not have heard of, he was one of the 16 monastic disciples, sannyasi shishya of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Now Latu Maharaj, in contrast to Swami Vivekananda and other disciples who were mostly graduated in the modern day Kolkata English education, whatever at that time was which was considered in English school with English Western professors, etc. He was illiterate. He was raised by his shepherd uncle, who at the very tender age of 8 or 10, he came to Calcutta to serve at a household of Ramchandra Datta, and who subsequently came to Dakshineshwar. He loved Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Ramakrishna loved him, and since then he started serving Sri Ramakrishna. And this person who has Sri Ramakrishna tried to teach him a little bit of alphabets and all that, but to no avail. Now this person who has no support, no, so to say, support in the form of, suppose, reading scriptures and this kind, so all those doors are shut for him. Like you see, Swami Vivekananda, he himself appreciates Latu Maharaj in this way, in this context, that whenever because it is spiritual life, your mind is going to go in have its ups and downs. So when it sinks, you can read scriptures or uplifting literature which will again inspire your mind, and again you can engage your mind, employ your mind in your practice, or you can practice sing a devotional song and enjoy music and all that, and uplift your mind and again engage in your sadhana. That you can do. But all these options are unavailable for Latu Maharaj. He has nothing but the words of his master. Now this person, he attains the highest kind of experience any person can have, any spiritual aspirant can have. He attains it. Now on the later days, I am referring to the incident when even Swami Vivekananda is not there probably, and these people are living in Belur Math. So Shuddhanandji was the disciple of Swami Vivekananda, and these two people, Shuddhanandji and Latu Maharaj, they went to Kolkata on some errand. And there Shuddhanandji Maharaj, he was a very studious person, very erudite. He was master of Sanskrit language and everything else you can say about him. Very sharp intellectual. He was the second general secretary. So we know about those who might have read about his life, they know who Swami Shuddhananda is. So Swami Shuddhananda wanted to attend one lecture. There was on Upanishad, on Kathopanishad, given by one Sanskrit Pandit, and it was on their way at evening. So they wanted to attend that lecture. So Latu Maharaj and Swami Shuddhananda both went to attend that lecture, and in Kathopanishad that part was going on, where Yama, he tells the god of death, he describes this subtle and inscrutable secret knowledge, this wisdom of Atma Vidya to young Nachiketa. In that Kathopanishad he is telling, and he is telling in that course of that you have to separate your mind. Like you separate a grass which is called as a munja grass, and from its sheath you have to separate that grass. So this thing, and he is saying the nature of Atman, it is like Angushta Matrana, like a form of a thumb, of shape of a thumb. Like it is this in your heart, that is Angushta Matra, etc. Those verses are going on. And Latu Maharaj, as so to say in our usual way of talking, he is not accustomed to your way of living, so to say. So there is a, so to say, silence in that lecture. And what Latu Maharaj is saying to Sudhir Maharaj, Swami Shuddhanandaji, that Sudhir, that Pandit is, what that Pandit is saying is right. This Latu Maharaj is saying, the person who is illiterate, the Pandit who is explaining the scriptures, the very foundation, the mother of Vedanta, Upanishads, and he is saying that what that Pandit is saying is right. So, my point is, because we stand too short, it does not evoke any emotion in our heart. That when we read this word, that Sukhena Brahma Sansparsham Atyantam Sukham Ashnute, because we are too far from it. Now, in Narad Bhakti Sutra, there is one text, one grantha, Narad Bhakti Sutra. So, in that, there is one sutra, it is said, Shastri Kurvanti Shastrani. So, there are in that couplets, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, etc. So, what does it mean? That the veracity of the scriptures is established in such people, that where from Shastras the scriptures get their authority to tell with certainty that what is truth and what is not. Where from they get this authority? They get this authority from these Shastris, the people who experience this, like Latu Maharaj, who says that this is right, what he is saying. So, that is the idea. Now, so this is what up to in 27 and 28th verse Bhagavan had said. Now, that the state attained by the yogi as a practice, yunjan evam, the practice in this way, continuously employing his mind all the time, Atmanam yogi, he goes past this concept of wrong or right, vigata kalmasha, and sukhena brahma sansparsham atyantam sukham ashnute. And now we see, now I will read the 29th verse, and then we have to reflect, we have to understand what is going on. So now you have seen the flow up to 27, 28 verse. So in the up to 28th verse, he has said that where this practice of yoga, when mastered, perfected, what is going to happen? What you are going to experience? Now in the 29th verse, in the next verse, he says, Sarvabhutastham Atmanam Sarvabhutani cha Atmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. So this is what he says. So now here, as if on the 20th verse, he is concluding that the highest one can experience. And now how the subject, how the thought, how his mind, how Bhagavan moves on to something or brings in a something idea. How does, what is it is? So How does he connect? How does he goes from this point to this 29th verse? What is said? What is said in the 29th verse? He says that with the heart concentrated by yoga, with the eye of evenness for all things, he beholds the self in all beings and all beings in the self. It does not make any sense if I read literally the English translation. So I will take it word by word. Sarva bhutastham. Sarva, that is all. Bhuta, it means this word. Or in plural, bhutani. So bhu means janma. Bhu means janma. We call bhumi because it births everything. Prithvi. So bhuta, it means, we call bhuta kal, that is past. Bhuta refers to which has past, come to past. Bhutani is referred to beings. Why beings are called as bhuta? Because they have come into existence. So something has come to past. So now in English language very nicely we ask, how old are you? Isn't it? So this many hour, minute or months you are old. That much is past. You have left that much behind. Even if 1 second you have left it behind, that you have a past. You have come to existence already. You are past. Bhuta, you have taken shape. Something has happened. That's why bhuta. All beings, therefore they are referred as bhutani. These 5 elements, they are referred as pancha mahabhuta. Pancha mahabhutani. Because with this, everything is formed. So these are the elements, and from this everything is formed. So what is formed? So bhutani, it is referred to any being in general. Sarva bhutani, if this word is used, then you know its meaning as all beings. You, me, plant, sentient, you can say even included insentient, anything. Sarva bhutani, whatever has happened, taken shape, which is formed, which is born, everything. Sarva. Now he says sarva bhutastham atmanam. So this word means that in sarva bhutani cha atmani ikshate. Now verb is here. Ikshate. Ikshate is seeing. Ikshate is seeing. So the person atmanam, that yogi, that atmanam, he sees sarva bhutastham. And sarva bhutani cha atmani. Atmani here means within. He sees himself, atmanam, in all beings, and all beings in himself. And this is ikshate, this yoga yuktatma, the person which is thus having this vision of yoga, yoga yukta atma, always establishing the yoga. And with that yoga, with that the fruit of yoga is thus that it translates into what? He sees this, that he sees his being as establishing every other being, and he sees all other beings in himself, and thus he does not see anyone different from himself. Sarvatra samadarshana. He attains that equality on the basis of this truth, of this epitome of yoga, what he achieves in his life. Many times we might see when you might have seen that post on Facebook or like that. A good a piece of wisdom it is. I find it. So he says, what? Never make any promises when you are happy, and never take any decisions when you are sad, or something like that. And 3-4 lines are there. I like it. It is nice, and it is worthwhile. I do not see any harm if somebody follows by it. My point is, the wisdom lies there that when you are full, you are happy, you are very forgiving. हाँ ले लो, आज भाई का मूड है, बस, है ना? Yeah, that is general attitude of human being. Now see, the person who is filled to the brim and who is having acute happiness, atyantam sukha mashnute, he does not have any time, any scope, for any pettiness of the world. He is bound to see this equality everywhere. हाँ, सब खुश, सबको माफ कर दिया. This equality, the idea of equality, he sees where it lies. The idea of equality in many times in our present day world, we see it is very grossly, what word I can use, a misunderstood concept. So, Swami Vivekananda in particular, he said that variation, differentiation is the law of the nature. That our world is beautiful, we have progress and everything what we see because there is a differentiation. You become a complete human being from a cell because of differentiation of the cell. If there would not be different cells, do you want to simple a similar type of a cellular organism, all one cell? You would not have hair, nails, eyes, brain separately. You are a functioning human being because of differentiation. What kind of equality we are speaking of? Vedanta, what equality is? See equality where it lies. Imposing, trying to reinventing equality, this is a very wrong misconception. And this is bound to fail. Because it does not have support of truth. I might believe anything. I might believe I am stronger than some fellow. He will give me one punch, I am to the floor. My belief does not make anything. Because my belief is not aligned to the truth. Truth is not that. I might believe something. But that I will become something, yes, there is a scope, you have to work for it, you can attain it. You can become. But if you are too alienated to the truth, it is not going to have result as per your belief. You can believe whatever you want. So, the idea of equality in Vedanta, this concept will come very often, sarvatra, samadarshina, and even for Hindus, it is very confusing. Because especially with this admixture of different Western thoughts, modern day thoughts, and nothing is cooked properly and digested. Everything is half-baked and is going to have stomachache. That is the state. So, this must be understood. And Sri Ramakrishna's life and teachings, he gives many times examples of it. What does it mean when it has to be practiced? Now this equality, this samadarshitva, this is not belief. This is not his feeling. This is not his something he thinks that he should act in this way. This is not that. That's why the word is called here for the word they use in a Western context as a philosophy. Here in Indian context we use the word darshana, seeing. This is the word we use. Now, philosophy might be something, it is what we say armchair philosophy, concocting things with the brain. Here, philosophy or darshan shastra, they might be abstruse and complex to understand or to absorb and assimilate. This is not concoction of the brain. Means ultimate fruit of philosophy is darshana. You must see the truth. It is not what you believe. You have come to understand. I am subscriber of it. I go to this. I am disciple. This has no meaning. There has no value. What you see, what you are, what is your worth of? No credit business. What is your state of experience? That is the truth. Now, this is what the aim of the darshanas, to have the direct perception of the reality, of the truth. That's why they are called as darshana. Now, you might, in this context, I remember one example, and I like this example. Many times I use it and I say it. Seeing the truth. What does it mean? So in the here again, so that will not be the matter of perception by your senses. So it will not be like you will be seeing Brahman or seeing consciousness, seeing Atman. It will not be of that sort. What does now this word seeing the truth, darshanam? You know this concept, electromagnetic lines. This term was used by Michael Faraday. So he showed that how electromagnetic lines, electromagnetic field, and this magnetism and electric field, they work hand in hand. He showed that, and that become a heat. This was a breakthrough discovery, and he became a very popular scientist, and which earned him. So like media in every other country at that time, a press reporter, he is asking him that he is of course a reporter of the science stream. So he is asking him that, Mr. Faraday, how did you come to coin this term electromagnetic lines? It does not make any sense. Where are the lines? Electrism, you say electric field, magnetic field. This is we see the terminals, wires. Where are the lines? Are there? And you are diagram. You are showing the lines. How did you come to coin that term? Electromagnetic lines. Michael Faraday answered, I saw them. Michael Faraday answered that I saw them. This is one example. Seeing the truth. It is not a sole example. There are many instances in the life of, in other way, non-spiritual field, you can say, who actually use this term, that they saw the truth before they could use and they could coin and they could put it in the legible and acceptable format of the present day world to submit their findings, seeing the truth. So this idea that sarva bhutastham atmanam sarva bhutani cha atmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana, that this person, when yoga yuktatma, that empowered by this fruit of yoga, he sees that sarvatra, everywhere, he sees with the eye of evenness, samadarshana. Now my point was, now in earlier verse it was said that sukhena brahma sansparsham atyantam sukham ashnute. He enjoys this acute extreme happiness, and he comes to this idea that person, such a person, he sees himself in all being sarva bhutastham atmanam. Sarvabhutani cha Atmani. He sees his being in all beings within his being. So now you can say, you can rather infer. So what is going on? Why Bhagwan bringing up this topic? Or is he changing subject? And why so? How it is connected to the earlier one? So we see that in 27 and 28th verse, if we see, this is the experience only yogi can have, and you at the most can be witness the outer expression of it. Maybe he is going into samadhi and it is something that that happiness is reflected on his countenance. You might be seeing that, but more than that, you are no more beneficiary of it. You could be it could be a great something that you are the witness, or you have seen in person such a soul. But so all these are his inner experiences, this enjoying happiness and all that. So how does it carry it forward and translates when he is not in that higher stage, when he comes down a bit in his consciousness, when he functions and interacts with the world? How is it that? How does it translates? So this is the subject Bhagwan is talking about. He's telling Arjuna. So from 29th verse to 32nd verse, 4 verses, he talks about the nature, the behavior of this person. How does he carry forward himself into the world? Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. This is the next 30th verse. Tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. So here see, wonderful. That's why the Gita, if you read, if you keenly follows what Bhagwan is saying and stop, just I use Gita with the simple meaning, word by word meaning by Swami Swarupanandaji. He was also disciple of Swami Vivekananda, rather the foremost disciple of Swami Vivekananda. So, and see, here in the 29th verse, what we see, he is saying, he is talking about Atman. Sarva bhutastham Atmanam. In all beings, he sees his being, Atman. In all beings, he sees within his being. This is the language used. Now, what language is used? Language changed in the 30th verse. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. One who sees me everywhere. Where does he comes from? Now you were talking about Atman. Where from you are coming? That one who sees me everywhere and everyone in me. Do you get the idea? One who, now you understand that when he refers to himself, Bhagwan Avatar or Atma or Ishwar, they mean the same thing. They mean the same thing. Here he talks about Atman. Here he says me again. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. One who sees me everywhere and everyone in me. In me, in God. Bhagwan is speaking. Sri Krishna is speaking. First he is telling to the Arjuna that see, one yogi, yoga yuktatma, he sees like that all beings within his beings and his being in all other beings. And now he is saying that one who sees me, God, Avatar, Krishna, Bhagwan, in all other beings and all other beings in him, in God. Tasya aham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. So for him, now pranashyami, this word comes from nashyami. Nashyami, nashya means nasha, means vinasha. Of what vinasha we are talking about? What destruction we are talking about? Tasyaham na pranashyami means what? I does not kill him or what? So nasha is cessation of existence. Nasha, this word in Sanskrit, it comes also from the positive word as, that is to exist. from which asti, etc. These words have come. So this nasha, tasyaham na pranashyami, for such a person, one who sees me everywhere and all beings in me, for such a person, tasya aham na pranashyami, for such a person I am never lost. That means I exist everywhere all the time. Seen other way around, said other way around, tasya aham na pranashyami, I am constantly existing everywhere. And for me, such a person is never lost. Such a me na pranashyati, that he is also all the time in my heart. He is as if alive for me. Many times people come and for spiritual instruction and all that. So spiritual practice and of spiritual life. So somebody said, that what we are all doing so that we can develop love for God. This is mostly it is talked about in the context of spiritual life, love for God. Somebody says, try to do something also as if God will develop some love for you. This concept is important. You see, we are all trying to develop love for God. Try to do something that God will have some affection for you. That try to become worthy, that you become, that think in this way, that not only you are loving Him, but He also loves you. That is more important. So he says, such a mena pranashyati, that person is always there. He is never lost upon me. You are remembering God. God also should remember about you. You become something like that. That is the important concept. We must think our life in we all the time we are, thinking about God. We are in problem, we are in distress, we need help. Oh Bhagwan, do something, try to do your magic or something like that. We are trying to remember Him. You also try to do something that He will remember you. In that context, I will tell you one funny story. One devotee, they came to see Holy Mother. Holy Mother is there, Sarada Devi in Calcutta. And in Calcutta, because it is not her home, she always used to have ghungat and used to sit there in that Udbodan mother's house. And devotees used to come. She used to stay upstairs. Devotees used to come. And it was her almost last days. She was sick. She was old. And it was very difficult for her. So, but many devotees used to come, and to offer pranam and all that. One devotee, particular devotee, see mother's son, what one must do so that God will remember you. Now, what did he do? When he came, her feet is there on some platform or some on ground. And he nicely banged his head on her feet. And mother, she has arthritis, gout and all pains. And this fellow nicely banged his head on her feet. And then somebody pulled him up. What are you doing? What is this way? And he is saying that I did that so that she will remember me. So, there are ways of the God and there are ways of the devotees. So we take break here and we will continue this verse, trying to understand it something more and take this next two verses of 31 and 32nd verse in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.